Hello again, everybody, and peace. I can't believe we made it to episode 10 of the Hippie trip. First things first, check this out. Another cover idea. This is from the lovely and talented Elizabeth Chapin. Liz is my baby girl. She's a PR specialist at California State University in Southern California, and she decided to give the Hippie Trip album cover a swing, and looks pretty good to me. Thanks, Liz. I love you, and I'll see you at Christmas time. So we basically have gotten to the point where we're done tracking the songs for the Hippie Trip. We have all the tracks cut. Now we're to the point where we're mixing. And mixing is, I love to do it and I hate to do it. The reason I hate to do it is because it's so final. Once you do something, it's final and it goes out the door for a CD and you can't go back and change it once that CD is out. So as I've gotten older, I've gotten more, I guess, critical and I'm hesitant to finish anything. But, I've given myself a deadline at the end of this month to have this thing mixed. So I'll have it out the door by then, and hopefully we'll have it in your hands by Thanksgiving. And by the way, everybody that's been following the Hippie Trip on Facebook, I'm gonna get a CD. I'll get a Hippie Trip CD in your hands. Probably will be right around Thanksgiving. So when you're having your turkey, I'll send you one of mine. Ha! So we're talking about mixing today, and I was really kind of thinking there have been a couple of things that I've done for the last 30 years. I've actually made the transition from analog tape recording to the digital realm. I do everything in the box, and by in the box, that means you don't see a big mixing board in front of me or a large tape recorder. Everything is done inside the computer. But the two of the things that I could think of that came to mind that really haven't changed much for me from the analog to the digital. Number one is cleaning my tracks. When I get everything laid in, I like to take all of the tracks that have stuff on them, but stuff that's not going to be used in the record. Say, for example, if a vocalist sings some vocals where there's going to be some spots on that track where he's not singing. If a guitar player plays maybe a solo, there's going to be parts in the song where the machine was still recording, but there's nothing on that track. So back in the old days, way back then, when I was an old man, or young man, we used to have to go back and take the tape off the pinch roller and actually punch the reel-to-reel deck into record and then manually move the tape over the head to erase it. Now, with the digital domain, it's very easy to do. Let me show you here quick. In Digital Performer, there's stuff on either side of that track, and I'm cleaning it up right there. And basically, I want to get everything kind of looking like this. These are tracks that Bill Murphy cut for Dragging the Line. They're 4 vocal tracks, and I wanted to clean them all up. So I went in between every part where he wasn't singing and took the recorded part out. So all we have on that track is the recorded part that he's singing. Now, if you have GarageBand or you're just beginning, this is a good thing to get into, because if you got a hum on a guitar, or if your vocalist clears his or her throat, or there's a chain around somebody's neck jingling, or any number of 100 different things. I mean, I've even heard a fart on a track. So by doing this, you take all that stuff out, and the only stuff that's on that track is the stuff you're going to mix. So I do that first. Then once I get to mixing, I've used another trick for the last 30 or so years, and it's this right here. Basically what this is it's a Radio Shack CB speaker. Now you see behind me, I've got large JBL studio monitors, and there's a subwoofer underneath. So I've got all the volume I need. I think a lot of people make the mistake of mixing everything through the big speakers at high volume. And they really, when it comes right down to it, something like this is the lowest common denominator. It's the smallest thing that there is. It's going to be in a small television set or a small boom box, and they don't sound good. This is like $20 from Radio Shack. So not only do I mix the song through the big speakers behind me, I plug this into a headphone jack and turn it down as low as I can possibly turn it. So I actually have to strain to hear the audio. In mono, of course. You want to mono your source out when you do that. But if you can hear it, hear every instrument through the lowest common denominator at really low volume, and hear every instrument through there, you're going to get pretty close. Now, there's going to be stuff going back and forth where the vocals might sound real good coming out of here, and they might be buried coming out of there. So what you got to do is find a middle ground. You do a little bit here, a little bit there, go back and forth. So I'm that far with most of the tunes. But then the next thing I do is I put them on a CD and I take them out and I drive around in a car and listen to them, and that's a whole other story. So that's it. Have a great weekend and a great week. And for all of us here in the Hippie Trip Studios, peace.